Hello, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate. God bless you. So we are still looking at my book, Jumai. We are going to be talking about healing from childhood trauma. So let me read about the book. Jumai's life was the perfect one as she grew up in a loving home in Minna. Then tragedy struck, and Jumai was scarred for life by an incident which not only weighed her down, but cast a shadow over the entire Luka family. Hallucinations, nightmares, bitterness, exclusion, and many more are the battles Jumai fought as she tried to rise above her pains, traumas, and fears. This led to relocation from Minna to Jos City as the family sought peace and healing. Will Jumai be able to put her pain behind her and embrace the ever-available love of God? Will she be able to recover her sonorous voice and live the purposeful life God has proposed for her? So here is Jumai, a story of art, healing, forgiveness, and purpose. We are reading from page 127. If anyone had said to me some 12 years ago that I won't be singing around the nation in 12 years' time, I would have told the person to go and consult his oracle again. She paused, and then, looking far away, she continued. I love singing. Like Mom says, I was born a singer. At the age of 5, I was fiddling with the piano and having rehearsals with Dad. In my teens, I was performing with Dad at weddings, churches, and family functions. Before the incident, I was planning to go for the recording of the music I'd composed. Why should I even bother? After all, the music I was singing was meant to glorify God. La looked at her in surprise when she made the last statement. But that incident killed every single dream and desire I had. Then after so many years, I was truly living again. Thank God for the youth fellowship. I was coming to trust God again, only for Gado to surface from where God knows where, she said wearily. La kept quiet as she seemed out of steam, resting her back on her seat and shutting her eyes. After a few minutes, he said, you see, after my parents were murdered and I was bitter towards God and the world, a wise man said to me, La, don't waste your pains. If you do so, you are wasting an opportunity to know all of God's mightiness and power. So I think I can share the wise saying with you, since it was your dad who told me. Looking at her face, though her eyes were closed, he continued, Jumai, don't waste that pain and disappointment you have bottled in. Don't waste an opportunity to know God's mercy and power. She opened her eyes slowly and sat up. Oh, so you think my pains are easy? Jumai, no. I never and can never say that, La said, stretching out his hands in refusal. But the way to the cross is pain street. Jesus didn't get to the throne by jumping the cross. He said to a wide-eyed Jumai, God is going to be glorified in this your pain. Or do you think he's not aware of it? Or that he didn't know you were going to have that encounter? He asked. Oh, okay. So if he was aware, why didn't he stop it from happening? Jumai said angrily. I don't know. But I do know that God can orchestrate and allow challenges to beat down our pride. In this case, pride can be anything we take glory in. Maybe for you, your voice. God does so that we get to that situation where we realize that indeed we are anointed, but we cannot exist without his mercy. So you see, I feel you are still talking from the place of pride. But like Jacob, God has taught your tire. And the only way for you to be balanced is just to learn to use his rod. The rod here, Jumai, is mercy. La stood up and looking at Jumai still seated. God is reaching out to you. And his mercy is available to not only sinners, but all his creatures. Only our pride and accomplishments can stand in his way. And his mercy never reaches people who are sufficient in themselves. He finished, pausing to smile at her gently. he left the house using the walkway beside the building. As she watched him leave, a song, "Your Presence is Heaven" by Israel and New Bread, dropped in her spirit, and she started humming. As she sang it, tears flowed freely down her cheeks, and her life passed before her eyes. The proud singer and daughter of choir master Dangana Luka, the gospel musician extraordinaire. Her dreams were all planned out without any thought as to what God would have her do. She realized then that she was proud then and still proud. Slipping off her chair, she fell on her knees, put her face to the ground, and groaned, asking for God's mercy. A broken Jumai had moved to her room and was lying flat on her face on the floor, weeping and asking God to show her mercy. Take the pains, Lord. Take it. Use it to your glory. Lord, I am not sufficient. Everything else will fail. Dada is dead. Buba isn't here, but you are here, O God. You are here. In my weakness, you are merciful. Lord, you are merciful. Show me mercy, she prayed, rolling on the floor. You are my Redeemer. Reading my past, it hurts, Lord, she said. She wept, praying and talking to God. Redeem my past and even my present. You are the holder of my future. Show me your light. How do I come out of the dark pain and hurt? You have touched the hollow of my thigh. Now I need your rod to balance. Jesus, I need your rod to become balanced. Jumai agonized in prayers, weeping and rolling on the floor of her room. She soon slept off in the midst of her moments alone with God. So, we can see from Jumai's experience some of the ways that we can actually heal from pains and even childhood trauma. So one of the ways is that she spoke to a trusted person. She opened up, perhaps for the first time since the encounter, she opened up to somebody. So at times, if we can get people that we trust, it's important for us to open up and speak about the pain. When we even speak about it, it makes it a lot better. She acknowledged her pains to God. She had gotten to a place where she couldn't hide it. Do we believe that God doesn't even know our pains? He knows it. So why don't you tell him about it? At times life hurts. And then what should you do? Don't hide it. God knows it. God just wants us to confess our frailty at times. Tell God about our pain. Yes, tell God about it. She acknowledged her pains. She saw her failings. She saw that pride was taking the place of God. What is that thing that's taking the place of God in our life? It's time for us to drop it, for us to be healed. In going through our healing process, we need to drop everything that's taking the place of God. Everything that the enemy has used to cloud us and make us see God as being too small to help us. For Jumai, it was her pride in music. She felt that, okay, after all, I was going to use the music ministry to further your kingdom. But that was coming from a place of pride. We need to search ourselves, look inwards. For us to be healed, ask ourselves and look inward. What is that thing that's taking the place of God? Then she sought for God's mercy. Like last said, God's mercy is not only available to the sinners. It's so funny how we feel that it's only when we sin we begin to ask for his mercy. His mercy is also available for his children. God's mercy is real. His mercy is his grace. His mercy is who he is, a merciful God. And his mercy is available for us. Why don't you seek for God's mercy? Even in your pains, that his mercy can take away the pains and give you his peace instead. And then finally she gave her pains to God. What is that pain that we have been carrying all along? That pain that we have been holding on to. It's time to give it to God. Would you rather give it to God? It's time to give it to God. His yoke is easy and his burden is light. Thank you very much. So with this topic today says healing from childhood trauma, and I hope we have learned one thing or the other. Thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure always to do this. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.